One of the most common questions I get, which program I should learn to visualize and showcase my architectural projects. Perhaps you've come across popular choices like V-Ray, Twinmotion, Lumion or Lumion, and other rendering tools. It's a question many architects and designers face, but let's reframe the conversation. Instead of simply asking which tool to learn, let's dig deeper into the outcome you want to achieve with your visualizations. Are static renders enough to present your designs for a specific meeting, or cinematic videos are needed for real estate marketing? But what if you need more? You want to craft immersive and interactive digital experiences of your architectural designs, allowing your clients and stakeholders to explore and interact with your projects in real time, change time of day, navigate through designs, and learn about the features of your development, all through a user-friendly interface. Today, I'm here to introduce you to ArchvizExplorer, an Unreal Engine sample project that is often overlooked by architectural designers learning Unreal Engine. Entirely built with Blueprint, Unreal Engine intuitive visual scripting system, ArchvizExplorer is easy to understand and customize. You will learn how to use it on your projects, and for our tutorial, we will use it on Hillside project, an epic collaboration between Epic Games, Saf the Architects, and Neoscape. Hillside project is the perfect demonstration of Unreal Engine's state-of-the-art Archviz techniques, and it's available to download for free. Before we get started, I just want to shed some light on our current challenge. In partnership with Expector, we want you to utilize your architectural skills to build a virtual space inspired by your favorite architects. Win up to $10,000 in Expector tokens, showcase your talent, and expand your portfolio. The deadline is in a few weeks, but you can still make it. More information about the challenge is in the description of the video. If you find today's tutorial useful, don't forget to leave a like, stay hydrated, and let's get started. To download ArchvizExplorer, we can find it in the marketplace if we search for ArchvizExplorer. To make your life easy, I leave a link with a page that contains all resources I'll mention in today's video. Once you add ArchvizExplorer to your account, let's head to the vault and create a new project and open it. ArchvizExplorer is a great place to start if you're learning about creating interactive experiences in Unreal Engine. To take a look at what you can do with it, and this is a good time to start thinking about how your project will look with all these cool features. If we hit play to test it, you will notice it starts with a beautiful interface. There is a welcome screen and some notifications that you can customize or hide. We have a taskbar here with a few buttons on it: Home, Gallery, Surroundings, Amenities, Search, and a logo. Hello Carl. Here on the top left we have a compass, and in the middle we have a slider to control the time. To move around, if you click on the screen with your left mouse button, you will rotate the camera around a point in space, which is currently located in the center of the building. Scroll up or down to zoom in and out, and click and hold the right mouse button to pan the camera. If you click home, it will restore the camera to its origin point. If you click on gallery, you will see a collection of images and videos that you can customize. If you click on surroundings, the application will automatically close the gallery, and keep this in mind because you will see that in Blueprint later. And the camera will switch to a new location and rotation where you can see the map and the new development. And all these points of interest separated by category around the project. We have food and shopping places, entertainment, education, and even transportation routes. You can hide or unhide any of these groups. As you can see, there is an animation on the routes. There are floating tree labels with icons in the space, and some of them got colored boxes. These are named points of interest. If you click on the 3D label of the colored object, the camera will switch to a new view, and we will see information menu on the right, where you can put images, titles, texts, and more. The same if we click on amenities, we have lists like leisure, fitness, and transportation. To get started in using ArchvizExplorer, I encourage you to migrate it to your own project or start a new project from scratch using the Archviz template so you can follow along. For my project, I will download Hillside sample project, which can be found in the samples tab. And to migrate ArchvizExplorer to our projects, we need to move two things: the demonstration map and the input settings. Demonstration_1, this is the main level of ArchvizExplorer project. Press Ctrl space and go to Maps, locate this asset and right-click, go to Asset Actions and select Migrate. As you can see, this is important because it collects all the necessary assets to be copied to your project with this map. Click on OK. This will open a dialog that prompts you to choose a destination content folder. So you need to navigate to the content folder of your project and click on OK. In addition to all important files, we need the key bindings. So we can export these from project settings. Let's navigate to Engine, then go to Input. Here on the top right corner, you will see Export and Import option buttons. Here in the yellow, we see a little warning that this method of putting inputs in our Unreal Engine projects is deprecated, and there is an alternative method that I will leave also links to that in the description. But for now, we're going to keep using this method that will be deprecated in future. Let's click on Export. This will export all the inputs we see on our screen. Let's select a place to save this. And let's open our new project, go to the same menu. So go to Project Settings, Engine, Input, go to Import option, click and import the files we exported, which is actually one file, and that's it. So once the map and its contents are migrated and controls are imported, we should be ready to use ArchvizExplorer in our Unreal Engine project. To start using ArchvizExplorer in my current main level, we need to add a couple of actors to our level. In my current main level, from the world settings, we need to assign a game mode override to blueprint_explorer_game mode. If you don't have world settings visible, you can go to the top right corner and click on settings. Click on the first option that says world settings and open the panel. Let's press Ctrl space to open the content browser. Navigate to the folder ArchvizExplorer Blueprints. We want to add to our current level the blueprint actor BP_explorer_pawn. This is one of the main blueprints in the project. We also want to add the blueprint PP_POI. You can add as many as you want. These are our points of interest blueprints. If you want the compass and the time of the day, we need to add the blueprint BPAVE Sun Sky. For later, you can add BP_route to visualize the roads in your project. In the World Outliner, let's create a folder and call it ArchvizExplorer and move everything there. It's time to make sure the project is working correctly. Hit on play or press on Alt-P and see what happens. So you will get an error to set the game instance class to Blueprint Explorer game instance. To do that, go to project settings and click on maps and modes. All the way down, under game instance, you will find an option to set game instance class. Go ahead and do it and press play again. Everything should be working fine. During development, we gonna hit play a lot, and this will make the notification menus really annoying as we are developing for the project. So let's change the behavior of the startup screen. From the widget folder in Blueprints folder, let's locate and double click on BP_master_menu_widget. This will open the UMG editor, Unreal Motion Graphics editor. From here, we will be able to modify and improve on our project user interface, create animations, and much more. There are two main workspaces: the designer, where we create our user interface, and the graph, where we add functionality to the elements and widgets we add. On the left, you will find a panel called Hierarchy. This is where you drag and drop and organize all of your UI widgets. And above it, we have a palette where we can see all sorts of widgets that we can add to our canvas. If you right-click on the first item on the hierarchy and click on Collapse All, this will just make it easier to read what is in our hierarchy. So you will see canvas panel element, and if you expand it, you will see the other UI elements. If you look through all the elements, you can see there are two blueprints that we want to hide. There is the pp_notification and there is the wagon widget. To eliminate these, we can simply disconnect some wires from the graph editor, and you can also select any of the widgets that you don't want and delete it from the widget editor. So I'm going to delete the add blueprint and keep the notifications blueprint for later because maybe I can change some stuff on it. On the top right corner next to the designer, we have a graph. Click here to open the blueprint editor, and let's zoom out a little bit with the mouse to see what's happening. Let's navigate to event construct. It's in the tab below pre-construct. We want to find the node event construct. From the node event construct, it goes to delay, then animation for the black fade at the start of the game. After that, it connects to a sequence node. Let's hold Alt and click on the wire connected to the sequence to disconnect it, and let's close our UMG editor. Now, if you hit play again, you will notice that we don't see the notification or the ad anymore, and this is much better for the development. The Explorer pawn is pretty important for your user experience. There is a camera attached to it, and it has all of the player movement and controls. It switches between pawns, and it draws the main menus on the viewport and stores them. It also checks if you are idle to play an animation and more. When you add an Explorer pawn to your level, you can change the rotation, the zoom, and pan settings on the mouse and touch. You can change the rotation limits and invert the camera movement. We got options for the zoom where we can control the spring arm, min and max length. So if you want to limit the zoom or increase the zoom on how much we can scroll up and down, you can do that from here. Below that, you can change the camera pan intensity with the curve editor. If you double click on any of the curves, it will open the curve editor. And if you press F to zoom out, you can see it goes from 0 to 1. Try experimenting by moving the keyframes around with different values to see what type of effects you get. Next, we have idle settings. You can change the time for how long before it plays an animation, and you can change the speed of the animation and the length. If you lower the number, it will play the animation slower, and if you make the number high, it will be faster. The animation is basically back and forth on the pitch and yaw rotation values that we set from the settings here. Now, the next setting we will talk about is the spring arm length. So if you go to the components view, click here and drag, you will see spring arm. One important setting to change from the camera settings is the target arm length. This will set how close or far your camera is from the point in space it's looking into. Make sure you put the Explorer pawn in the center of your project for correct rotations around that area. Let's hit play one final time. We partner up with the Expector to bring you the opportunity to unleash your creative freedom in digital architecture to build what you imagine the future of virtual spaces could look like. You can build a gallery or a museum for an artist, or a music store for a musician to sell their songs or instruments, or you can make a space to showcase high-end furniture. The possibilities are endless. For many years here at VR Division, we've been working with brands and companies to help create interactive experiences in Unreal Engine. There are so many companies out there looking for talents to help them bring their businesses to the digital world. Including us, we're looking for people who are good in interior design and creating spaces. So we invite you to join our challenge to create a beautiful digital space and submit it before the deadline. More information about the challenge will be in the links below. And now let's get back to the tutorial. Let's talk about adding points of interest to your project. You can find these in the Blueprints folder, the blueprint BP_POI, points of interest. You will be working with these blueprint actors a lot throughout your projects. These are 3D color geometries with widget components, the labels you see in the 3D space, and a camera attached to a spring arm. When we add a POI actor to our project and go to the details panel, you will notice there are 3 types, but the one you will be working on 90% of the time is just POI. Under the POI type, we have POI info instruct. From here, we can define all the information about our points of interest. We have 3 fields of text, the name, information, and footer. We also get the ability to specify a color and icon and an image. For the icon and image, if you navigate to textures folder, you will find inside a folder called user interface. And inside it, there are icons and images that you can refer to if you want to use something real quick. And you can import your own icons, images, and another UI elements in the future. If this POI actor something you want to use a 360 texture on, you can set the texture from here. And you can refer to the folder HDR and the file T Panorama Room 1 for a reference on how the 360 textures should be. But I really don't think this is needed anymore, since now we got Lumen and we can switch between the exterior and the interior of the project without worrying about light maps, so no need to use these anymore. But they're here if you want to. Next, on a point of interest, we also get the ability to add media like images and videos. If you click on the plus icon where it says add element, this will create a new element with multiple fields of information. We can fill the file name, the preview image, the media type, an image or a video, and if it's a video, you can define the video source below the media type. As for text, level button, and level, I didn't find any information about these, so if you know anything about these guys, please let me know in the comments. Once you add your point of interest actor and define all of its settings, in order for it to appear in the main menu, we need to assign tags to our blueprint actors for every new point of interest blueprint we add. Select your POI actor and scroll all the way down to where it says actor. Click on advanced to expand its contents. If you look all the way down, you will find tags, and from here you can click on the plus button to add tags. For the POI actors, you need to define the tags by the category and the subcategory. And by default, Archviz Project Explorer predefined tags are for the main categories we got surroundings and amenities. For defined categories of the surroundings we got dining, shopping, living, education, and transportation. And for amenities we got user and transportation. We will show you how to change these tags and add new ones in a later part of the lesson. For now, let's stick to the pre-existing tags, so I'm going to give my POI 2 tags. You can repeat this step as many times as you want, and once you add enough POI actors, next we have filter with row name that's usually specified in CSV file, and a section view volume. This you may need to copy from the demonstration map for some reason. I didn't find a way where we can create this by the Unreal Editor. Next we have a POI mesh. By default, it's a cube that you can scale up and down to match the size of the area you want, so you can cover the building with it. You can also change this to any type of static mesh you like if you click on the POI geometry from the components view. In POI mesh, we have 2 options, whether it's visible in-game and if clickable. Maybe you want some actors that are not clickable or not visible for any reason, so you can define that from here. Below the POI mesh, we have 3D widgets. Here we have options to control the 3D widget settings, such as the font type, the text color, scale, offset, and so on. You can change the POI widget space to be whether in the screen based or word based, and you can change the font type, the size. We can change the color of the font as well as offset the location of the 3D widget. Next, we got focus settings, and these are pretty important. First, you can tick or untick the option use look at target, and you can control the look at target location. This gives you the ability to set an exact camera view when you change from point of interest to a new point of interest. To add routes to your project, we need to locate the blueprint pp_route, click and drag that blueprint to your level, press F to zoom in and press G to toggle the game mode. You will see 2 points in the space that are pretty close to each other. Move your mouse, this will create a new point for you and your line will get bigger. Repeat this step and trace the roads of your project and you can create one route for each new road. In the default options, we can toggle collision and set auto tangent length if you want to see if it does any improvements on the curves. I can also change the scale of the route, and from material and mask we can change the color of the route. There are also options for mask radius, hardness and speed. These are settings you want to experiment with depending on each route. If you change the mask radius enabled value from its default value to 0, you will notice that the route will disappear. If you increase it slowly, you will notice it's appearing smoothly until it covers the whole road. This will play an animation. If you keep that at default value to the much higher number, the animation will not play. You can change the hardness and the interpolation speed and hit play as many times as you want to see different results. And finally, don't forget to add tags to the route blueprint actors as well. Alright, let's talk about modifying categories and subcategories and adding completely new ones. The really good stuff. Since this has to do with the user interface, press Ctrl space to open content browser and navigate to open the widgets folder and double click on the widget blueprint to open the widget editor. To visualize our menus, if you look at the hierarchy panel on the left, search for canvas panel and open widget switcher, you will see surroundings, amenities and unit search. These are 3 separate widget blueprints. This means we can easily make duplicates and changes while keeping things modular. So on the top right corner it says edit BP amenities widget. We have a text title that says amenities, an image separator, and below it there are 3 lists. Each of these lists is an instance of a blueprint called BP entry list widget, and it contains title, a checkbox for visibility of the point of interests that have the same tag. If you click on any list, you will notice in the details panel we have tags of actors, name of list and list color. To modify any of existing lists, you can simply change the tag actor name of the list in the details panel and the blueprint name in the hierarchy. Now, let's say you want to add another list, so we have 4 lists instead of 3. To do that, let's make a duplicate of one of our lists. From the hierarchy, you can select any size box widget and right-click to make a duplicate or just press Ctrl D. From the name duplicate widget, we want to give it a new name and a new tag for the actors, a color and a list name. So let's test this by giving some of our existing POI actors the new tag. And when you click play and navigate to the menu, you can see the new list with our modified list on it, and things are looking good. So what if you want to create a new button and a category to modify more on the user interface? No problem, let's do that. I actually encourage you to modify as much as possible. So let's start by adding a new button to our master menu widget. Now, if you look closely at the hierarchy, let's find taskbar. You will notice that we have background blur, then border. In horizontal box, you will find images and buttons. We need to go to the hierarchy and duplicate one of the existing buttons by selecting one and pressing Ctrl D. You can rearrange the order by clicking and dragging, and to change the text you can click on the new duplicate item and change the text from the details panel on the right. Also, from the hierarchy panel, don't forget to name your button to the new one. Now, let's open the graph and look closely at these blueprints and the events on click. At first, things might look a little complicated, but the more time you spend here, the more familiar you will get. So let's take a look. Let's find an event node on clicked button surroundings. In blueprint, things in the graph always go from left to right. So when a player clicks on the button, the following will be executed. We have a node called update taskbar button style and a node button surroundings connected to it. Then we have a sequence with 3 wires doing at least 3 different things. Let's track the first wire. It's doing a branch. This will check if the menu you want to open is already open or not. If it's open, nothing is going to happen. And if it's not open, it will open the desired menu. As you can see, here we have a branch. If surroundings is the active menu in the widget switcher, do nothing. If false, then execute the macro open menu button and set the active widget to surroundings. And do another sequence to make POIs and routes visible. Now, the second wire, it's setting the location, rotation, and target arm length view of our camera and the spring arm. Here, the default location is set to 0, 0, 3000 on the XYZ space, and the pitch is set to -60. So this is why when we click on surroundings is why the camera goes up and looks down. You can change this depending on the scale of your map. And the third wire, as it says, hide menu and gallery if visible. Now, since we know much more what this is, I assume you've already created a button in the taskbar. Let's select the button we've created and click on the details panel and search for events and click on clicked. This will create a new node for us, and this node is an event node, which is why in red. An event will happen when we click on this button, and we have the power to decide what it is. Today though, we will steal some code. So let's copy everything from the previous node we were talking about, except for its event node because we have ours. Let's connect our new node to the update taskbar button style node, and instead of surroundings variable, let's replace it with our new button new variable. To do that, you can find it in my blueprint panel on the left. You can search for your button, click and drag and click get, connect the wires, and let's move to the next node, branch. Here we want to bring new variable that reference to our widget blueprint menu, so the widget switcher can check for what is the active widget. So let's press Ctrl space to bring up the content browser and navigate to widgets folder and create a duplicate of BP amenities widget. Our duplicate user interface can be anything. Click and drag the widget blueprint we've duplicated and place it under the widget switcher in the hierarchy. Once you add your widget blueprint, it will appear in the list. Let's click on drag and click on get and wire it to the branch. The next node is a macro open menu button. We need to switch the node we copied with the blueprint we duplicated earlier. Everything else in this blueprint stays the same. You can select some of these new blueprints you learned and press C to add comments and organize them better. I hope you found today's tutorial useful. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for the next tutorial, where I will show you the complete process in making and rendering cinematics in Unreal Engine, similar to what you've seen in today's lesson. I look forward to see what you will create for the challenge. Join us while you can. This was your boy Yahya from VR Division, and as always, stay hydrated and make good art.